Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here doing another movie review. This time on a movie that I feel like is fairly underrated and to my knowledge doesn't get a lot of attention or doesn't get the flowers. No one gives this movie its flowers. Um, Super 8, directed by J.J. Abrams, very well known in the film world, a very well-known director. This came out June 11th of 2011 or June 10th or something like that. So I like that this movie came out in the summertime. It's perfect time for a movie like this to come out where people, children are out of school and families can go to the movies and all that good stuff. Um, this came out the same year as Green Lantern, so keep that in mind. I read a story when I was watching me watching a review on something I'm going to review. Um, Someone put in the comments that, they went to the movies to see this movie and they really enjoyed it. And they said the theater that they were in was fairly empty. And a lot of people went to go see Green Lantern and they remember walking out of the theater, seeing people's faces who saw Green Lantern. They looked so, like disappointed from the experience. So, if only more people saw Super 8 back then, you know. Yeah, but like I said, this is a cool movie. This is like a sci-fi thriller adventure movie. Some people have said this movie walked so Stranger Things could run, and I feel bad for people who are, if you are a Stranger Things fan, I'm sorry, I haven't yet to watch any of Stranger Things. It's just I know it's my like that type of show is a show I would be into, but it's long, so long at this point. It's kind of hard for me to really stick with stuff that's mainstream, with the exception of like Transformers, Dragon Ball, certain anime, Naruto. Like depending on certain properties that like I grew up with, it's hard for me to kind of stick with something that's mainstream. Um, so yeah, this had a good cast. Let me see. Excuse me. Kyle Chandler, who was in the '05 King Kong movie, and he's been in the MonsterVerse movies and a whole bunch of stuff. Very phenomenal actor. Joel, I can't remember his last name, but he basically plays the main character in this movie. His character's name is Joe in the movie. And Ellie Fanning, who is the sister to, it's gonna bother me. Um, I could be getting the actresses confused, but I'm pretty sure the actress who voiced Coraline in the Coraline movie is her sister, and I think she also played the sister in the Cat in the Hat, the live action Cat in the Hat movie. So that's cool, and like I said, the rest of the cast, because like I said, only have 10 minutes. They did great. Everybody did great. I like the chemistry between Ellie and Joel and the other, kid characters who make up the friend group. I felt like the chemistry and the dialogue all felt very, like genuine and like, yeah, I could see these individuals being a real group of friends. So this takes place in like the 80s, like early 80s, like mid 70s or something. It takes place in Ohio, I believe. Um, Another example, I guess I could kind of give is that this, especially for J.J. Abrams, and I believe Steven Spielberg was a producer for this movie. This is kind of a love letter to those old, adventure movies, children adventure movies from that back then, like The Goonies, Monster Squad. Uh, I'm probably missing, E.T. I'm probably missing a couple other ones. There is another movie with three male friends who build a space. They get in contact with aliens, and they build a spaceship. They travel to the alien spaceship and meet the aliens they had contacted. For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of that movie. I have seen it. I might talk about it, but I put that movie in this category as well. Um, so what happens essentially? Also, J.J. Abrams directed the Cloverfield series of movies. So if you've seen those, you now know the man behind them. So what happens essentially? Well, wow, our movie kind of opens up with a funeral. Well, at, I guess you say it opens up with after a funeral. You know, when everybody gathers, when someone passes away, and everyone gathers at the home. You know, to pay their respects or whatever, and maybe there might be food provided, that type of thing. So that's how the movie kind of opens up, which is kind of grim, honestly. But um, so kind of a spoiler, but you learn this in the beginning of the movie. Joe's mom worked at a factory, and there was a factory accident. She was K-worded. So of course that kind of puts a strain on him and his dad's relationship because mom was like the heart of the family, and now she's gone, and just dealing with the loss of a parent and the loss for the dad, of course, the loss of a spouse. You know, that dealing with all of that. Ellie's dad, I'm just going to refer to her real name. Ellie's dad worked at the factory, and for whatever reason, Joe's mom decided to take his shift for that day. So if he had worked that day, her dad could have potentially been the one to have DIE'd instead of Joe's mom. So again, kind of a spoiler. We kind of learn more about that throughout the movie. So if you can imagine, Joe's dad is not too fond of Ellie's dad. So we kind of get like a Romeo and Juliet type of scenario because they do kind of start to develop, feelings for each other as the movie goes on. But because their parents don't like each other, they low key kind of have to meet each other in secret. Like Joe wasn't even like he tried to go over to her house to invite her to one of their gatherings or something. And when the dad came home, he just kind of went off on him. So yeah. So basically, Joe's best friend, who's that character right there, I forgot his name, but he is a filmmaker, amateur filmmaker, and him, Joe, Ellie, and their other friends, male friends, are basically trying to make a zombie film for a film festival. They decide to film near like an old train station, so to speak. They sneak out at night to film an old train station, and the train, unexpectedly is coming. Like the train track is like behind them, whatever. And it's unexpectedly coming through, and we see a freaking pickup truck crash into the train, causing it to go off the rails. Big explosion. Probably one of the best set pieces in the movie. And apparently that was a military train or something, and they were trying to transfer something that is alive and sentient and violently, breaks out of the destroyed train and escapes. So after this experience, a lot of weird stuff happens around town. Of course, the Air Force and military show up and are doing a lot of shady, weird things. A lot of mystery type of stuff happens. I won't spoil, but I think I mentioned like this is like a darker version of ET. So that gives you an idea that our being or creature that was in the train is not from our world. And in a nutshell, the movie has a good resolution. I just kind of would have liked to have known more. Like it gives enough backstory, for where the creature came from and why all this weird stuff is happening. Was the creature trying to do or achieve? And I like that. Like we're given enough information to put the pieces together. But a part of me's like, I would have liked to have known like how they get here, what's their world like, stuff like that. But it's really good. It's really worth your time, especially like I said, if you like Stranger Things, if you like E.T., those type of movies that center on a group of friends trying to, solve a mystery or going on some crazy adventure. It's definitely worth your time. It's on Pluto as of now, and it's on YouTube for free. It's like an hour. It's in like 42 minutes. So yeah, like I said, I just kind of want to give like a slightly summarized version. I kind of went all over the place, so I kind of apologize for that. But yeah, go give Super 8 a watch. Check it out.